First game under a new coach. What's your overall takeaway?
Chaos. It was chaos, absolute chaos. It's the first preseason game. It's been 9 months to the day since the Knicks played a basketball game. Now, the team looks so much different, and obviously with a new coaching staff, but it's a preseason game. They've only had a couple of weeks together, and so it was going to be sloppy. You expect that, but we did see a lot of things that indicate that this is going to be a very interesting season and something to watch closely, because we're seeing already Tom Thibodeau and his impact on this team, and also the competition for roster spots and for rotation spots already underway.
Tell you what, the intensity on defense really stood out.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit shot only 32%, and the Knicks forced 22 turnovers.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the chaos. I mean, that's the defense. The Knicks defense was frenetic. They were energetic. They were all anything else that rhymes with etic I can't think of right now, but they just absolutely were getting after it. Deflections, and more deflections. There were bodies everywhere. This is why Tom Thibodeau talked about how important it was for guys to come in top condition, and he pointed out the guys that were in top shape, and those were the guys that stood out tonight. And Nerlens Noel, you see right there with the active hands, he got the start. Mitchell Robinson came off the bench, and they were both very effective big men inside, protecting that paint as the anchor of the defense. But this was about the deflections. This was about the points off turnovers, which in the first half was a lot better than the second half. But the defensive field goal percentage, those are all the positives. Now, there are issues, of course, the three-point shooting not where you want it to be still, and free throw shooting once again. But it's still very early in a season that probably you'll feel preseason even when the regular season starts, because this has been such a quick start to a new season.
You mentioned the Knicks shooting from downtown, only 5 of 23. All eyes tonight, of course, on the rookie Obi Toppin, 11 points. Most impressive, Allen, in his first half stint when he scored 9 of those 11 and also grabbed 5 rebounds in 9 minutes of playing time in the first half. Finished the game with 11, was much more impressive in the first half.
Yeah, no question about it. And he came in off the bench, and he had that energy in his body, very springy kind of body, and you saw him elevate early on. And a young player who just couldn't wait to make his debut, and he had to wait because he came off the bench. And when he did, he got to work quickly. And I like that they put him in the post and let him get comfortable and let him go one-on-one and score. And that's exactly what he can do around the basket with that soft touch. You see a little passing there to Dennis Smith Jr. And then watch this little two-man game here with Kevin Knox in the flush. And you're going to see a lot of dunks from this kid going forward. But you can see him. He can work one-on-one. Handles a little bit tighter than maybe we thought it was. And the finish around the basket, there's an N1. A nice start for him. And you expect more. You'll be able to unpack more from his game once he gets the rhythm and the speed. And I think he's got to find his pace, as a lot of young players have to do. He's talked about how the speed of the game is something that he knew he had to catch up to. But there's also times when a young player might play too fast. So once he finds his pace, he's got the athleticism and already the physical strength at 22 years old to compete at this level. They'll find more ways for him in the offense, but I kind of liked him with that second group as the go-to guy.
He looks like he's going to have a really good chance to get his shot consistently.
Yes, absolutely. And again, it's the energy, the constant movement. You know, the old saying, ball finds energy. Well, he's a bundle of energy. He's always moving. As Wally pointed out during the broadcast, I'm glad he said it because I kept thinking it. One-hand cross-court pass that worked at Dayton is not going to work here in the NBA. So there are some things he's got to also work on with his game, but it's only the beginning for him. They're going to find, as they watch him at game speed, what he can do, what he can find himself, and then you'll see they'll start implementing that in the offense.
You know, as you're watching, you wonder how things are going to be under Coach Tom Thibodeau. This is all you need to know. 2.5 minutes into the third quarter,
yes.
Timeout. Blistered his guys after a turnover and a sloppy defensive rotation. Maybe only the first preseason game, but he's just not going to stand for it.
Well, you could tell he coached this game like it mattered. You know, to him, it mattered. The W, he wanted to win. Like, he coached this game hard. This is a preseason game, and a lot of times, especially in the NBA, you will see, okay, I'll get my main guys in the first half, then I'll bring some bench guys in the second half. We really don't care about the result. We're more about finding who can play and where they can play. And Tom was more like, no, we're getting a dub here. We're winning this game. We've got to, you know, this franchise hasn't had a lot of these. We're going to get some. We're going to stack some and feel good about our game. And that's exactly what he did. There's only 4 preseason games, so you really got to get to it. But not only was he getting after it with some of his players, he was getting after it with the officials as well. And so you saw he right away was in regular season mode.